a guided walking tour of the Venice Beach Boardwalk. I'm Chris. This is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, entertaining, and in this video, I'm going to be walking you down Los Angeles' #1 tourist attraction. That's right. There's actually more people that come to the Venice Beach Boardwalk than come to Disneyland, at least before the pandemic. But what does the Venice Beach Boardwalk look like right now? It's been more than a year since I've been here, so I wanted to come down and check it out and share it with all of you. In this walk, I am starting where Venice Boulevard meets the boardwalk. This is the beginning of the commercial district of this boardwalk, and we're going to walk all the way down to Santa Monica, and I'll tell you a little bit about what we see, what's different, what's changed from before the pandemic. So first of all, I am shooting this on a Friday at the end of April 2021. It's a bit of a gray day, but this weather pattern is very typical to Southern California. We often call it May gray or June gloom. That's arrived just a little bit earlier for us. Now, there are way less people than I've ever seen at the Venice Beach Boardwalk. And yes, it's not a Saturday or Sunday. I usually come here on Fridays because it's a little easier to park, but there are actually very few people here today. And the two guys that are walking in front of me are looking back going like, what the heck is that guy doing? Well, maybe they'll see themselves on video next week when this is out. Now, here on the left, we have Venice Muscle Beach, and the lady just walked by, asked if I'm doing a TED Talk, maybe because I've got this interesting headset on. This is where Arnold Schwarzenegger famously worked out when he moved to Los Angeles. There used to be outdoor workout equipment here. This is fenced off, closed. Not sure what is going on here. I'm not sure whether this is going to reopen or not, but it was part of this famous Muscle Beach building. This appears to be no more at this point in time. On this boardwalk, there are tons of gift shops, tons of places to eat. You can get all of your great, tourist shirts that you'd want. I'd flex, but I like this shirt. Bad choices make good stories. This cough ain't from Corona. It's from marijuana. There's lots of graffiti-inspired art here in Venice Beach. Venice Beach is definitely a, kind of hippie enclave by the sea in Los Angeles. Venice started life as like Venice, Italy in Los Angeles. It was a place where there were canals. It was supposed to be reminiscent of Italy. The guy who founded Venice Beach, his name's Abbot Kinney. And actually, Venice Beach still has a high-end shopping area known as Abbot Kinney Boulevard. And if you want to see that high-end district, that's a second walking tour that I'm going to do. You'll find a link to that in my walking tour playlist at the end of this video or in the description. Now, as the boardwalk opens up here on the left, there's some basketball courts, but none of the basketball courts are being used right now because the basketball courts have been, the hoops have wooden bars on them, so you can't play basketball, but there's some people out here that are doing some skate dancing. I find the roller skaters that come to Venice Beach are definitely usually some pretty old school, awesome roller skaters. Skateboarding, also popular. Back in the corner, that way is the Venice Skate Park. If you want to see more about the skate park and some of those things, I stopped by that in my Locals Guide to Venice Beach, which is more of a edited tour of Venice. You'll find a link to that one in the description. But in this one, we are simply just going to walk along this boardwalk so you can see everything here. Many people come here on a sunny day and wish they had sunglasses. So there's tons of stalls that sell sunglasses, sell swimsuits. Now, the boardwalk technically is just for walking, and there's a separate path over towards the beach for bicycling and skateboarding. If you can't tell from an orientation perspective, the beach is just over these green, grassy hills, and the beach is just over there. Now, this is basically, I consider this the central intersection of the Venice Beach Boardwalk. If it had a center, it would be this. This is where Woodward Avenue meets the sea. And first, if we take a look at the ocean side, you'll know you're here because there's this interesting piece of artwork. There are usually many street performers out here, people doing breakdancing. It feels quite unlively today and sedate. As I mentioned, I have actually never seen Venice this empty. Right at this intersection is this hotel back here. This is the Hotel Irwin. This is like the it hotel to stay in Venice Beach. If you want to stay in the heart of Venice, the Hotel Irwin's going to be your place to do that. And the classic picture to take in Venice, just down this way, I'm going to zoom in, is the Venice Sign that hangs up there between the two buildings. Make sure you do that before noon, because otherwise the sun's going to be behind you and it won't make for a very good picture. You can rent bicycles, you can rent skates, you can rent scooters, you can rent surfboards. Ton of rental shops that are around here. And did I mention sunglasses? There are tons of sunglasses. There's also a lot of massage parlors along the boardwalk, which earlier, before I've been shooting this video, they've been clapping at me to try to get me in. I'm not really sore with anything right now, so I probably won't be making my way in. As you've also seen, there's a number of CBD shops, marijuana shops. This used to be a big place to get medical marijuana prescriptions. Now that marijuana is legal in California, I think it's just become a place to buy it without the prescription. And now on the left of the boardwalk here, we start with a lot of vendors. When Venice Beach started vending on the boardwalk, it was really meant for art. So you'll see many of these vendors are selling art because it was generally considered an artist's or a free expression zone. Looking at this blue building on the left, I'm sure this was not originally intended to be blue, but you can see how this could look like a building in Italy, right? It's got the columns, it's got the sculptures on it. Now, when this was probably originally Venice, Italy themed, there wasn't Big Daddy's Pizza, Hot Spring Chicken, donors, and tacos. But if you're looking for some quick, cheap eats, this is a good spot to get them. And it actually looks like a lot of these places just opened because this place says this is their grand opening weekend. Early bird gets the taco. All right. Well, it's good to see, because I would imagine these places probably had closed down for the past year, and now with spring break, May, the coming end of coronavirus restrictions in California, I think life is starting to come back. And so related to marijuana head shops, here we go. This is a classic store along this. La La Land Venice, healing CBD products, water pipes, and of course, Zoltar, where you can get your fortune read. No Los Angeles beach would be complete without Zoltar. Next to there is Kids World, which is kind of neat. There's like a Buzz Lightyear in front of it. It's a really interesting mix of stores here in Venice Beach. Some that are really low end that sell those cheap sunglasses, and some that are clearly very high end, like this one that sells cell phone cases. And they got a lot of things where you can take Instagram pictures in front of these apes. Now, there's a few street performers that are out here. This singer is serenading the people sitting at the Sidewalk Cafe and Bar. This is at Small World Books. This is a super classic Venice Beach place to get something to eat, get something to drink. I've also never seen it so unbusy. That place is typically packed. On the right, we have another cannabis company, the American Cannabis Company, and just behind that we have the House of Ink Tattoos and Piercings, which appears to be quite busy. I don't know anything about this tattoo parlor, but if I was picking a tattoo parlor, I would pick it based on a line, just like I picked food, so that might be a popular place. The Venice Boardwalk does have a number of public restrooms, as you can see there. They're not fantastic. If you don't like unclean things, I'd hold your bladder. And here we have the crossing of the bike path. So this is where you're supposed to ride your bikes. or skateboard or skate is along this bike path, and then the actual skateboarding park where you can do tricks and things like that is just down that way. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on the boardwalk. There looks like some VR games that you can play. One person, $7 in there. You can rent these electric scooters for 35 cents a minute. You can get anklets for your toes. You can get chocolate-dipped waffle cones. You can get Ben & Jerry's. That's some pretty good ice cream. I like Ben & Jerry's. It's, you know, one of those classic brands, probably not trendy anymore, but still pretty good. I like the Chunky Monkey, the banana and chocolate-flavored ice cream. Did I mention there's a lot of tattoo parlors? There are a lot of tattoo parlors. And it appears many of the vendors on the left are still getting set up. And then many of these shops are still either hard closed or just not open yet. Over on this little block, we've got some coffee shops, little cafes. Let's take a look down and see what we've got here. First one, we have a Peruvian chicken restaurant. Those pictures look pretty good, at least. We have a weird black thing that has a tiny little screen. Handmade by us, selected by you. Pasta, sauce, tiramisu from that little tiny window. That's very Venice Beach. This place, the Wee Chippy, specializes in fish and chips. Planet Hummus, currently not open. And then here we have Venice Teriyaki that you can get through a little window right there. And then here on Zelda's Corner, we've got bike rental and coffee, premium sandwiches, and miniature donuts. Groundwork Coffee, another one of these, I feel like, popular LA coffee shops. If OC Girl was here, that would probably be where she'd be getting her coffee today. Now, as we kind of get down to this part of the boardwalk, things start to become a little bit more sparse because just not as many people end up walking down this way. The artisans turn into a bit more living encampments, it would seem. Now, many people have said that Venice Beach over the last year has turned into the West Side Skid Row, that there's been many people that have just been living out here. And it would appear that the city has cleaned up a lot of these encampments on the more southern part of the boardwalk, but they still definitely do exist out here on the southern side. Homelessness has always been a problem in Venice Beach, but it's been a significant problem in the pandemic because a lot of people came down here, and due to the pandemic, they weren't moving them because they didn't want to move people around, and so it's just kind of spread out throughout the city. I will say, driving down to the beach, I did see a number of homeless encampments on Venice Boulevard and along the way to the boardwalk too. Here's a massage table. Looked like you can get a massage out here on the boardwalk. That's a cool spot right there. And you know, I mean, how often can you get a massage on the boardwalk, right? That's cool. Okay. Yeah, that guy, you probably couldn't hear him, but he just said I owe him $5,000 for filming that. Yes, there's a lot of people down here that if you take a picture of their art or things like that, then they're like, that'll be $5 for taking a picture of my art, taking a picture of my table. So, you know, but you really can't collect on that in a public place, which is what the Venice Beach Boardwalk is. Down these little alleys, there's a lot of nice artwork. We see somebody right here is putting a really cool mural up on this building. There's like a little Instagram up there that says @TrekThunderKelly. That's cool. Trek Thunder Kelly, if that's you on that ladder, that's a pretty neat mural. I like it. So if you're looking for Instagram picture spots, this is the place to do it. A lot of people that walk around the boardwalk carrying... Oh, wow, what is this place? This place is new. This is Sneakers and Stuff, which looks like a pretty neat sneaker shop. Looks like definitely a high-end place. 2 security guards by the front door. They want to make sure their sneakers don't leave the building. And I like friendly people, friendly people who you turn the camera and they wave at you instead of asking for $5,000 for their picture. Now, I pointed out the Hotel Irwin. A lot of these buildings are hotels, motels, Airbnbs. This one is the Venice Breeze Hotel. Walk-ins welcome. I don't think many of these are going to be all that fantabulous. I think these people giving out Monster Energy drinks? Samples? All right. Thank you very much. This is Monster Ultra Sunrise Energy drinks. Classic thing down here at Venice Beach. A lot of the drink companies come down here and give out free samples to people. Earlier, there were some people from Gatorade giving out free samples. This is new. There's a Starbucks right here on the boardwalk. There used to be a like an oddities show here in this building, but it looks like that oddities show has closed. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but the group that I just passed, definitely a lot of yelling and partying. Seems like they're having a good time, likely under the influence of some sort of substance that I'm not on today. That's my influence. I am high on Sukemen. Just before doing this video, I stopped by and did a walking tour of Santa Monica's Sawtell Japantown, and I had some really good Japanese noodles. Here, we've got a mural of Kobe Bryant of the Lakers, wishing Kobe Bryant to rest in peace. Here go a couple bikes. These are a couple Lyft bikes you can rent by the app. There's also a bunch of these electric scooters by Bird and these different companies that you can rent down here too. But again, you're technically not supposed to ride them here on the boardwalk because it's not really busy today. It's the pandemic. It's not really well enforced. But if you're here on a summer weekend, then the Los Angeles police does come out, significantly enforce on the Venice Beach Boardwalk. Okay, here we can see a little bit more of the beach. It's the beach. I think it's really kind of a nice beach in Venice. It's a big, wide, sandy beach. In the background, the mountains back there, that is Malibu. And before you would get to Malibu, you would see Santa Monica. There's some more of the homeless encampments that are here. Clearly the areas that haven't gotten cleaned up or found a place for them to reside. This little plaza on the right has some neat things to take Instagram pictures in front of. In particular, they have the Pink Elephant of Venice with a hashtag to say, hey, take your picture with the Pink Elephant of Venice. And there's a Pink Elephant espresso bar in the background, owing to that pink elephant. On the right, there used to be American Apparel down here. I'm not sure if it was in this building or maybe it's up ahead. They're out of business, so I like, this is a very classic, like Venice still is an artsy community. So in this construction environment, they set up their front porch with their pink flamingos and their tires. That's kind of fun. And then what do we have over here? We have some orange pistols and 3 colored chairs. And then there's a at Venice Amplified, which I'm sure is their Instagram thing. I'll check that out later to figure out what the meaning for that is. We've got someone else setting up their booth here. The busiest time on the Venice Beach Boardwalk is really in the afternoon, kind of after lunch. I think maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. That's when it gets busiest. I just turned my camera here on this house because of all the succulents and cactuses in front of it. Kind of a neat garden vibe here. There's a cell phone store in this pink building. And this building on the right with the garage doors that are closed, this is where American Apparel used to be. American Apparel has been closed for quite a long time. Looks like nothing has come in here yet. And these markings along the boardwalk, you see there are these little white paint things. These are locations, each one for a different vendor, people who get permits here on the boardwalk. And if you would have come, this time 2 years ago, every one of these would have been taken by somebody out here selling something, vending something, showing off some art. Now, most of them are vacant and empty. You know, it might have been this one that was American Apparel. But anyway, pretty close. They were right next to each other. There's a ice cream shop here, which looks closed. Nielsen's Handmade Gelato and Sorbet. We got some more stores that are open here, selling Venice Beach t-shirts, California Republic t-shirts, gems, crystals, birthstones. There's a parking lot here on the beach. I should point out, parking in Venice can be pretty expensive, and it fluctuates on different days. That's also why I come on Fridays. I like to park either in the parking lot right at the end of Venice Boulevard or right in front of the Venice Beach Pier. Today it was $7 to park. If you come on weekends, it can be up to $20 to park. Street parking can be really hard to come by, so I would encourage you just pay the price, suck it up, and pay for a parking lot. That's at least what I do, so I don't spend hours driving around because it's just not worth it. Now, back along those tents on the left, you can see that there are more of them as we go this way. The tent city progresses in this direction, and it occupies the little strip between the boardwalk and the bicycle path. So as it gets narrow, then that strip gets narrow. As it gets wider, then it gets wider. On the right here is Gingerbread Court, food court and shops. This is a neat little courtyard. And I think right now there's just a bicycle shop that's in there, but there used to be coffee shops and things like that back in here. All of them are currently not open, or not reopened, or not something else opened in there. But that was really always a neat place to take a picture. I'm sure it will be again when it reopens. Here's the Pacific Jewish Center on the beach. Interesting thing that you probably just wouldn't think about on the boardwalk. And then right here we have a Egyptian museum and gift shop, and somebody suggesting to check out the artwork. Yeah, if you come down here, this guy's got some pretty cool license plates and some neat pictures.
I print them out myself. I don't design them, but I print them out.
Yeah, he prints them himself. Very cool. How much are they?
15, 2 for 25, and canvases are 25, 2 for 40.
15, 2 for 25. The canvases are 2 for 40. All right. Thank you very much. All right. I like friendly people like that. So if you like some of that artwork, definitely check him out and support him. Now, you know, at least for people that set up their homeless encampments on the beach, I'll give props to this one, because they've made their house look really like a piece of art. And these people have too. Interesting. There's the Fig Tree Cafe here. I think this is a pretty high-end cafe, actually. And this is like the interesting dichotomy in Venice Beach, is there's a ton of low-end stuff and then a ton of really high-end stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to see all of that high-end stuff, that's on Abbot Kinney Boulevard, which will be in the next walking tour. There's some more little pictures and artwork printed out by this vendor here. These are some neat watercolors. We've actually bought some art here in Venice Beach that we have hanging in our house, so it is a great place to bring back a souvenir that, you know, maybe not everybody has. This guy looks like he's selling some wooden artwork, or some art printed on wood. There's cutouts of the California Republic. There's a psychic here on the right that does palm and tarot card reading. What do you think my fortune is? This shop has been here for a long time. This place is called Titanic. They sell hats, really neat hats, and they've had these like neat transformers out in front of here, and they ask, hey, if you do take a picture, you know, give us a donation of $1. That's what you'll see. I can say, hey, you know, $1, that's reasonable. $5,000, probably not that reasonable. Hey, if you wonder how much it costs to rent bikes at these places, they're about $8 an hour. Roller skate tickets typically offer more, $10 an hour, and all day somewhere between $35 and $50. Here we have the Candle Cafe, another place for outdoor seating, and wherever you find lots of outdoor seating, then you find somebody serenading the people in the outdoor seats. That's a pretty cool guitar that he's got right there, right on. I give that guy some props with the, the thing in his mouth. It's not a kazoo. I can't think about it right now. Now, the encampments have gotten larger here. There's a big parking lot, and the encampments are now on both sides of the parking lot. Clearly, there are no vendors occupying these spots anymore. Though, perhaps it looks like one of them has a drum set that they use to entertain the people up here. That looks like it's set up and functional. There's another drum set down here, too. Apparently, this drum sets must be popular on this side of the boardwalk. We have the Venice Ale House here on the right. A really popular beer drinking spot. A lot of outdoor seating, a lot of indoor seating too. You can see here's one of the beach parking lots. $7 to park in this beach parking lot as well. And continue to be one of the places I would encourage you to park in, because you'll just actually find a parking spot. Wow, this person has like set this up like their living room with like tables and places to eat. Maybe this is for the ice cream shop next door. I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. When I say ice cream shop next door, there's this place called Everbowl that looks like an acai bowl place. Maybe that's their tables. There's the waterfront. This is a popular also drinking seafood spot. Hard closed today. Taco spot, also hard closed. And then as we walk to where the palm trees are in front of us, that's where the Venice Beach Boardwalk connects to Santa Monica. And then if you walked on that, I don't know, maybe about 30 minutes or something, depends how fast you walk, you would get to the Santa Monica Pier. So speaking of the Santa Monica Pier, if you want to see walking tour of the Santa Monica Pier, you can click right here to watch that. If you want to see more of my walking tours of Venice Beach and other places, then just here a little bit below, you can find my entire playlist of my walking tours. Also, we got them down in San Diego, Orange County, lots of other great beach cities. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in one of these videos.